So we have semen. Semen is sperm, which is stored where?
And I don't know what they're called technically, but like, isn't it in like balls?
Yeah, but it's what part? So you have the
That's the thing, is I don't know what balls are supposed to be called.
the testicles.
Testicles.
But inside there's little tiny tubes that make it. And I'm trying to remember. That is. I forget. I'll look up that term sometime.
Okay.
But it's stored in the epididymis.
Oh, see that? That is weird.
Epididymis. I think it's spelled like that. But I could be totally wrong. But if you take a testicle, there's a little structure that's like that on top of it.
I remember seeing.
And it's stored. That's where all the sperm is stored. Then there's 3 glands that make. So there's fluid that goes with it. The fluid provides the energy the sperm need, other things, protection. Just it helps with the sperm motility or how they move. It's produced by 3 glands. There's the bulbourethral, and I can misspell all these. Probably will, but the prostate gland. Which one am I missing? Bulbourethral, prostate. I think it's this one. Seminal vesicle.
Oh yeah. That sounds
I think that's the 3rd one. But that's the definition of semen. A lot of students get mixed up and say semen's just a fluid.
Mm-hmm.
But in reality, semen, the bee semen has to have sperm in it. So it's sperm plus the fluid.
That makes sense. And so it's stored in the epididymis?
Mm-hmm. Sperm is stored in the epididymis, which I think.
There's 3 glands.
Which I think that's misspelled. I think it's like a Y here and I here.
Okay.
But spelling is not my strong suit. That's why I tutor biology, not English. Dropping pen cap. So we have our egg here, and the egg has a protective lining around it. Sperm has this tip on it called the acrosome. So acrosome. So the acrosome is an enzyme tip that actually breaks down this lining of the egg. Because in order to get to the egg, you have to get through that protective lining. So one sperm will come up, hit the lining, and break it down a little bit, and die. Because once the sperm releases the acrosome, it's done. Then, so sperm will be hitting the egg all over the place, breaking down this lining. And then more and more sperm hit the same spot, going. Eventually where you get to the egg, and one sperm goes in and fertilizes.
One makes it in.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes 2.
Very rarely 2.
That's when twins?
No, twins is when the fertilized, after it's been fertilized, splits up. If 2 go in, they'll die.
Doesn't one kill the other? Or the egg kills them both?
Just the too much DNA, it won't function. It just won't.
That's fine.
It won't develop into anything. Twins is when after this fertilization is taking place, for some reason it splits into 2 fertilized parts and then cells and keeps dividing.
And that's for identical twins.
Yep.
And then
for fraternal twins, that's when you release 2 eggs.
2 eggs.
2 different eggs, and they both get fertilized. So the reason why men could be not sterile but infertile is a low sperm count. And what that means is they don't produce enough sperm.
To break through the egg.
To break through the egg, exactly. You have to have enough sperm there, obviously hitting the same spot to be able to get to the egg. Because
how many sperm does it take?
I don't know the numbers, but it takes a lot. Because, so you have to have the chances of this, like you have to have all the sperm hitting the same spot. Like they're obviously going to have sperm hitting all over, but you have to have enough sperm hitting the same spot to get it so one sperm can make it in. Now if I were to draw, here's the ovaries and the uterus. Here's the cervix. The vagina's right there.
Mm-hmm.
This is another reason why sperm count is a reason someone can be considered infertile. So sperm's here in the vagina. Some of it will swim out because it's not like sperm have brains. They don't know what they're doing. They just swim, trying to find the right direction. So some will swim out and some will swim in. Then let's say this is the ovary that released the egg this time. Some sperm will just stick around in the uterus and not do anything. This is running around circles. Some will go the wrong direction. Some will go to the right fallopian tube and try to make this happen. Some sperm will die because of the pH. You remember how the vagina produces a secretion of a high pH to protect itself from bacteria and things from infecting. So some of it will die.
If they stay in the vagina for too long, they'll die because of the pH?
They could, yes. They could. Some of it will. And so, like all these things.
Is that why they only last for a couple days? That's why it's like...
That and sperm, the cell life of sperm is not very long.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a couple days.
How do people get pregnant so easy when they're freaking 16 years old and like they only have sex once and they...
And see, and that's the thing. That's the reason why this whole process, every time I talk about it, every time I learn about it, it's a miracle that any humans are made anyway. Like the amount of chances of things to go wrong and the amount of stuff that has to go right for it to occur. It's crazy because...
It's not easy to get pregnant. It's so
because
weird.
you have a 3-day window.
Yeah.
Because fertilization or ovulation takes place on day 14. And that's the only day a woman can get pregnant. That's in one day. But sperm can survive for about 2 to 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is like the window you have of a woman's cycle is 12 days, 12 to 14 to get pregnant.
Unless they don't have a regular period.
Unless it's different. Then it's different days. But it's always going to be.
all 3 days.
It's always.
You don't know when it is.
Yeah.
But it's still randomly.
It's still going to be only 3 days.
Weird.
And